Hi, I'm Candace, and welcome to I'm Not a Doctor, where we sift through the science so you don't have to. Today we're tackling a topic that most of us don't give a second thought to: caffeine. It's the magical potion that gets us through sleepless nights, early mornings, and those meetings that could have been an email. But is caffeine truly your friend, or is it secretly plotting against you? Let's get to the science behind it and uncover whether caffeine is your ally or your enemy. Caffeine has become a daily ritual for millions of people. It's no secret that caffeine is a master at keeping you awake and alert. The science behind this is pretty fascinating. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine, a neurotransmitter that makes you feel tired. With adenosine out of the way, your brain thinks, let's party, and you suddenly have the energy to conquer your day, even if you only got 5 hours of sleep. But caffeine doesn't just stop at keeping you awake. It's like a personal trainer for your brain. Studies have shown that it can improve focus, memory, and reaction times. It's the reason coffee is a staple in offices, classrooms, and early morning workouts. Add to that its antioxidant properties. Yes, your morning coffee is actually fighting free radicals. And it's easy to see why caffeine has earned its place in our hearts. There is even research suggesting that moderate caffeine consumption could help you live longer. It's been linked to a lower risk of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and type 2 diabetes. But let's not give caffeine a free pass. It's not all good vibes and productivity boosts. Caffeine can also be a sneaky little saboteur, especially if you are relying on it to compensate for a lack of sleep or chronic stress. Here's the thing: caffeine doesn't actually give you energy, it borrows it. By stimulating your adrenal glands, it forces them to release adrenaline, putting your body in fight or flight mode. This might feel great at first, but over time, it can lead to adrenal fatigue, leaving you feeling more drained than before you took your first sip. And let's not forget about sleep. Even if you think caffeine doesn't affect you, it's very likely it is. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 or 6 hours, which means that late afternoon pick-me-up is still hanging around when you're trying to fall asleep. This disrupts your sleep quality, leading to, you guessed it, more caffeine dependence the next day. Caffeine dependency is a real thing. The more caffeine you consume, the more your body gets used to it, and the less effective it becomes. Miss your daily dose, and you're greeted with headaches, irritability, and brain fog. Not exactly the best trade-off for an energy boost. If you're prone to digestive issues, caffeine can also be a gut irritant. It stimulates stomach acid production, which can lead to acid reflux, bloating, or those infamous coffee poops. And for those with heart conditions, excessive caffeine can raise blood pressure and trigger heart palpitations. So where does this leave us? Is caffeine your ride or die, or is it secretly stabbing you in the back? The truth is, it depends on how you use it. Caffeine can be a helpful tool if it's used mindfully. It can improve focus, enhance workouts, and even provide some health benefits. But if it's used to mask poor sleep habits, chronic stress, or an unbalanced diet, it's more of a band-aid than a solution. To have a healthy relationship with caffeine, it's all about balance, because not everyone processes caffeine the same way. If you've ever wondered why your friend can down a double espresso at 10 p.m. and sleep like a baby while you lie awake after a single afternoon latte, the answer might lie in the CYP1A2 gene. This gene is responsible for producing an enzyme in your liver that breaks down caffeine. People with a variation of the CYP1A2 gene are considered slow metabolizers, meaning caffeine sticks around in their system much longer than for those who metabolize it quickly. For slow metabolizers, even a moderate amount of caffeine can lead to jitters, anxiety, or disrupted sleep. If this sounds familiar, it's worth experimenting with how much caffeine you consume and when to drink it. Genetic testing can confirm whether or not you're a slow metabolizer, but your body is often the best indicator. Feeling wired for hours after a cup of coffee? That's your cue to scale it back or skip the afternoon pick-me-up altogether. Taking breaks is another game changer. If you find yourself reaching for a second pot of coffee just to stay awake, it might be time for a caffeine detox. A week or two off caffeine can reset your tolerance and give your adrenals some much-needed rest. Also, please don't drink your coffee on an empty stomach. Pair it with a meal or a snack to avoid spiking your cortisol levels and irritating your gut. And finally, prioritize quality over quantity. Choose an organic, mold-free coffee and skip the sugary syrups and creamers. Coffee is like that one friend who's a ton of fun in small doses, but exhausting if you spend too much time together. It can be a powerful ally for focus and energy when used responsibly, but abuse it and it will drag you into a cycle of dependency and fatigue. The key is to let caffeine work for you, not against you. Prioritize good sleep, manage stress, and remember that no amount of caffeine can replace a healthy lifestyle. I personally get my coffee from Purity, which I'll link below, and I cycle my caffeine intake by drinking decaf the majority of the time. I also take breaks from coffee altogether. It's important to distinguish what you're really after with your morning cup. Is it the ritual of having a warm beverage? Is it the coffee you're after? Or is it a caffeine addiction driving you? Listening to your inner self will help make better decisions that support your well-being, not make you a slave to habits. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Not a Doctor. If you found this video helpful, or if you're currently sipping a cup of coffee, hit that like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comments, are you team coffee, team tea, or team no caffeine? Remember, you are in control of your health. It just might take changing everything you thought you knew to get to where you want to be.